ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನು ಶೇರ್ ಅದೇ ಸಾಂಗಿಂದು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಲಾ ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ? ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲೇ ಆದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್? ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೊಂದು ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಪಿ ಪಿ ಟಿ ಸರ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಂತೆ. ಪಿ ಪಿ ಟಿನೂ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಲ್ವ ಸರ್? ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದೇ ಲಿಂಕಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದಾ? ಓಕೆ ಸರಿ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ ಸರಿ ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ಐಡಿಯಾ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಹಾಕಣೆ ಇರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇವ್ರು ಹರ್ಷಿತಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು, ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಳೆ. ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನಾನೇ ರನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವೋಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ ಇರೋದೇ ನಾವು ಇದ್ದಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್, ನಾವೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿವ್ ಇದ್ದೆ, ವೋಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ನಾನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಬಿಡಿ. ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲಿಂಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು IPH ಅವರು ಹಾಕೋತಾರೆ, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು IPH ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲೂ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟಿಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಡೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಅದು ಆನ್ಲೈನಲ್ಲೇ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮು ಇವರು ಸೌಮ್ಯ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ನಾನು ಇದ್ವಿ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರು. ನಾನೆಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫೋಟೋ ತಗೊಳೋದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಮು ಆ್ಯಂಕರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಈ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾನು ವರ್ಷತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನೋ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ LPTL ಅಂತ ಹೋದ್ರು. ಸರ್ ನೀನು ಒಬ್ಬಳೇ ಮಾಡಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ ಅಂದರು.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ
ಸರ್, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಾನು
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್, ಬಾಲಕೃಷ್ಣ ಸರ್ ಅವರು.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್, ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ನನ್ನ ಸ್ವರ
ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ದಂಗಾಯ್ತು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ನನ್ನ ಸ್ವರ ಕೇಳ್ತದಲ್ವಾ?
Yes sir.
You can hear me ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Yes sir, sir. Yes sir. Audible. It is audible.
ಸರಿ ಸರ್. ನಾನು ಅದೊಂದು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾಶ್ರೀ ಅವರ ಹತ್ರ. ನಾನೊಂದು PPT ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ಹೇಗೆ?
ಸರ್, ನೀವೇ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇದು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್.
ನಾನು ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ. Yes sir, it's visible.
ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಪೇಜ್ ನನಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
Yes sir, the screen is visible sir.
ಸರಿ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಅದು ನಾನು trying to move the slide.
Okay sir.
Publication between January to December. 1 year.
Enter to Group 2. Enter Ox in Train.
Publication. That was
Yes sir, it's visible.
ಹೌದು, ಆದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್. ಲೈಕ್ ಐ ಕಾಂಟ್. ಈಗ ನಾನು
Sir, click on that slide show.
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಅದು
It's visible sir.
ವಿಸಿಬಲ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ನನಗೆ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಏನಾದ್ರು ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್.
Otherwise you share that PPT to me sir, I will share.
ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಐ ಸೆಂಟ್ ಯು ದ ಒನ್.
Okay, I will check this.
ಚೆಕ್ ಯುವರ್.
ವಿಜಯಸಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್,
Yes sir, I will check.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Yes sir.
ಓಕೆ.
Sir, Balakrishna sir, is it visible?
It is visible madam, it's visible.
Okay sir.
ಜಯರಾಮ್, ಜಯರಾಮ್,
ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ
ಹಾ,
ಓಕೆ.
ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ,
ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ. ಕೇಳಿಸುತ್ತಾ?
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. ಮೈಕ್ರೋಫೋನ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಹಾ, ಅದೇ 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 ಅದೇ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಇವನಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ಗೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೇಳು.
ಹೌದಾ? ಓಕೆ.
Good afternoon to all the members. I request our staffs to ask the students to stay complete time and please take the attendance and photo shot so that easy for us to updating the list. Anyway, our chairman sir is here. Namaskara sir, namaskara.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Then Jayan sahib is there. Yes sir, I think other members are also getting in now. Balkrishna sir is there. ತಾವು ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ ವೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಯು ಸರ್ ನಾವು
I am in Ahmedabad.
ಹೌದು ಫೈನ್
ಜಯರಾಮ್
ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ಕೆಲ್ಸದ
ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ಯಾ?
ಮನೇಲಿ
ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ಯಪ್ಪ?
ಮನೆ ಹೌಸ್.
ವೋಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡು.
ಹೌದಾ? ಓಕೆ. ವೋಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಇವರು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣ್ ಅಂತ.
ಅದೇ ಅವ್ರ ಇಲ್ದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡು.
ಆಯ್ತು, ಓಕೆ.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Glacier
Yeah.
Assistant Professor, Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering. A warm welcome all the dignitaries, faculty members, students, and guests. Today we have gathered here to celebrate World Water Day and World Meteorological Day 2025. I invite Professor Ashwini S. Ma'am for the invocation song.
शृङ्गपुराधीश्वरी शारदे शुभमङ्गले सर्वाभीष्टप्रदे शृङ्गपुराधीश्वरी शारदे शुभमङ्गले सर्वाभीष्टप्रदे शृङ्गपुराधीश्वरी शारदे शङ्करसन्नुते श्रीपद्मचरणे सकलकला विशारदे वरदे शङ्करसन्नुते श्रीपद्मचरणे सकलकला विशारदे वरदे सलयन्नताये सामगानप्रिये शृङ्गपुराधीश्वरी शारदे करुणे सम्म श्रुतिगतिಗಳ ಮಾತೆ ಕಮನೀಯ सप्त स्वर सुपूजिते काव्यगान कला विनोदिनी कामितदायिनी कल्याणि जननी शृङ्गपुराधीश्वरी शारदे शुभमङ्गले सर्वाभीष्टप्रदे शृङ्गपुराधीश्वरी शारदे. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashwini ma'am. Now I invite Dr. H.K. Ramaraju, Vice Principal and Head of the Civil Engineering Department, to deliver the importance of the day.
Good afternoon to all. Respected the members of Institution of Engineers, Institution of Public Engineers, and the members of Indian Water Works Association, and my students, colleagues, staffs, and other agencies also participate in the program. I think now it is already crossed 100. The participant list is almost past 100. It is directly linked to the Google link so that they can easily access the program. Dear friends, as you all aware, March 22nd is celebrated as World Water Day as per the UNESCO's direction. This year, the theme given by the UNESCO is that is Glacier Preservation, which is a very, very important topic. At the same time, tomorrow, that is on March 23rd, generally, World Meteorological Day will be celebrated. The theme given is closing the early warning gap together. See here, World Water Day and World Meteorological Day, both are clubbed and we are conducting today's program as the topic itself clearly indicates the glaciers preservation and the closing early warning gap together. So here it is quite simple. The themes emphasize two critical aspects of environmental sustainability, that is water security and climate resilience. Here, both when we are talking about the water, the preservation, conservation, the management of the water recycling, reusing, all these plays a dominant role. At the same time, as we know, because of our misuse or unethical activities, the pollution level is increasing, which finally lead to the world called as global warming and climate change, which is again its impact on the other world meteorological department, where exactly they place a role. How exactly the meteorology plays a role? It may be temperature rise or fall, whatever it may be. Once the temperature rises, automatically our glaciers melts. Since whatever the glaciers, the peak mountains are there, once it melts, that flows as a water. That is all. So here, both are interrelated. Keeping that in mind, we thought, let us celebrate togetherly the program in a effective way. Actually, we planned this program to conduct offline. As you know, today the government, some of the agencies, they called for the Karnataka Bandh and all. Keeping that in mind, we thought there is a better option to take up in the webinar only, so that all those students can easily participate. Now 100 plus the participants are already logged in. Of course, others can easily we've done the program via our Google Meet. That also we have made the arrangement for those things. As you know, here so many changes are taking place in the world in the name of population growth, industrialization, urbanization. So many changes are taking place. Here, it is our duty, being the environmental engineers or students, community, if we consultants, anybody, better to join the hands to work together. That is very, very important. So, only thing is, we can easily tell that we can easily try for the better solution. In sense, we can easily conserve the water, preserve the water, afforestation, soil conservation. Similarly, so many things are there. New innovations are taking place. Here, I would like to tell some of the words for Dr. D.V. Gundappa. ಹೊಸತನವೇ ಬಾಳು, ಅಳಸಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸಾವು ಬಿಡು, ರಸವು ನವತಿಯಿಂದ ಅನುದಿನ ಹೊಮ್ಮಿ ಹಸನೊಂದು, ನುಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡುತ್ತಿರೆ ಬಾಳ್ ಚೆಲುವು ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಾಮನ್ ಫಿನಾಮಿನಾ. ಬದುಕಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ. ಈಗ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜೀಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ artificial intelligence and machine learning, all these things are playing a role, very key role. How exactly those technologies can be adapted in the water management sector, or totally to protect our environment. All these things are the issues to be discussed, and the discussion is going on. There is a never-ending story. Today, we have requested the experts people, Dr. Manjunath and Dr. Balakrishna. They are the experts people working in the field. They are going to deliver a talk also. Anyway, I will pass it over with these few words about the importance of the day. I will pass it over Vidyashri, one of the coordinator. So, madam, you can continue for the please. Over to Vidyashri. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, Dr. H.K. Ramaraju, sir, for your insightful words. Now I invite to E.R.M. Nagaraju, sir, FIE Chairman, the Institution of Engineers, India, to deliver the welcome address.
Dear afternoon to everybody. We are supposed to have a program at back, and due to our own happens to be the environmental engineer and of our Institute of Engineers. I requested him to to attend the program online. So since from the to invite friends, engineers, first of all, today's resource person, Balakrishna, professor from college, and hearing was going to deliver to issues. That is the one is preserving closing the warning. Both are important, very, very important, because in the days to come, according to our estimation, the population is going to be doubled. With the increase in population, that problem, and there is scarcity of water here in Bengaluru.
Nagaraj,
In a
it is
very
not audible. You put a little microphone near to your mouth. Not audible correctly.
So in India, in another 5 years, there will be a scarcity of drinking water. And already about 30-40 years, people started thinking of connecting Ganga River and Kaveri River. But the things are not moving in our expectation. But however, in future, we need to do it. But however, we have important glacier preservation, which is very much necessary, because whatever that is available to us, we should make use of it. And already in city like Delhi and other important cities, we have started reusing the water and for our drinking purpose and also for other consuming purpose. But anyhow, today we have two good speakers. They are going to throw light on these two aspects. And I welcome those speakers and also the president of the Institute of Public Health Engineering, Mr. Malik, and also Prasad, principal, Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering, who is going to preside this meeting, and Professor Ram Raju, Professor Jairam, so many committee members, well-wishers, corporate members of my institute, and also Waterworks Institute, then Public Health Engineering Institute. And there are so many engineers working in so many departments are also available, along with the students. Hoping that there are more than 100 students watching the program. I welcome everyone and enjoy this webinar, and also learn everything, whatever that is possible, to preserve our water in future. With these few words, I thank everybody, and particularly Professor Ram Raju, for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nagaraju, sir, for your warm welcome and inspiring words. Now I invite ER.R.P. Malik, sir, Chairman, IPHE, Karnataka, to deliver the inaugural address.
Sir, Mr. Ram Raj, sir, with your permission, I'll just go and attend our council meeting, please.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you, Lord, sir. Thank you, Lord, for blessing the event. Thank you, Lord. Over to
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ramraju. Thanks for allowing me to go for this inaugural address. Today we have a webinar on two very, very important topics. One is, that is World Water Day 2025. We conduct 22nd March every year. And also tomorrow there is one more International Day, Meteorological Day.
Okay.
So as far as today's World Water Day, here, can all of you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can.
Today's theme of World Water Day 2025 is Sustainable Development Goal 6, under that glacial preservation. So our esteemed speakers will give a very good lecture and expose all of us to this importance of preservation of glacier, because as far as India is concerned, almost all our North Indian rivers, which are taking care of every needs of North Indians, the basis or the source is from the glacier. The main concern is glaciers are getting smaller and smaller, and after some decades or some centuries, there will be no glaciers at all. Then what will happen? To take care of the glaciers, there are so many issues that the mankind has to take care. So that will be the topic of one of our esteemed presenter will make. As far as the other topic is concerned, meteorological, that is Havamana. So due to the climate change, every day we hear in the news, lot of rains and snowfall in deserts, no rainfall in areas we are getting regular rainfalls. That is vagaries of the environment because of this global warming. So these two topics are very, very relevant today, or at least for the next few hundred years. Unless we take care of these two issues, so the mankind will definitely suffer. So with this inaugural address, short inaugural address, I will hand over back to Dr. Ramaraju, and also welcome all our guests as well as the guest speakers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights and for inaugurating this event. As a symbol of knowledge and enlightenment, let us proceed with the lighting of the lamp ceremony.
Okay, thank you.
I think you can request other to have the photograph. This thing. All are requested to switch off their mobiles or so that we can have a photograph, please. First, you start with. I think better to start with lighting of the lamp. All are requested to switch on their videos. All the members, please. Please on your videos so that we can have the photographs. Vidyashri, ಇದು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ? Anything is going on?
Sir.
You should have the video of the podium also.
Lighting of the lamp ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತದು?
Sir, I will share that one, sir.
Where is Nitin? Nitin?
Wait, sir. Just 5 minutes, sir. Some technical issue, it is not played. So now I request to Dr. B.G. Prasad sir, Principal DSCE, Bengaluru, to deliver the presidential address.
Please allow the expert lectures to start.
Okay. Now I am honored to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. K. Balakrishna sir. Dr. K. Balakrishna sir is currently working as a professor of geology at the Department of Civil Engineering, MIT Manipal. He was also part of the 37th Indian Scientific Expedition to Antarctica in the year 2017 to 18 and spent 100 days there. He is the recipient of 2 state awards, Dr. Satish Dhawan Young Engineers Award and Best Research Paper Award, both from the Government of Karnataka. Manipal Academy of Higher Education awarded him the Dr. TMA Pai Endowment Chair and the Dr. TMA Pai Gold Medal of the Best Research Paper. Now I welcome to Dr. K. Balakrishna sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Vidyashri. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
So I'll just start sharing my. Is it shared?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
And is it gone to the full screen mode?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Namaskara, everybody. Firstly, starting with thanks to the institution of engineers as well as the principal, vice principal of Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering and other organizers. I'm very fortunate to connect with you because I have been working on these glaciers in the last 7-8 years in Antarctica, personally as I was introduced, and also in the Arctic. One of my PhD student, Sagar, he is also there online. So we are working on both the poles and also a little bit on the Himalayas. So with that, let me, as the speakers already told about the theme of this year, World Water Day 2025, Glacier Preservation. The picture on your slide tells a lot of things. One is the glaciers that are coming from in between the valleys, and then subsequently it is giving rise to the rivers. It also, you can see that United Nations have these Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals, and the water is a part of at least 6 Sustainable Development Goals. So this was initially started in 1993, World Water Day by the United Nations, and then with the increasing realization that almost 1/4 of the population live without access to safe water. So to bring awareness amongst the people on the importance of conserving the water, this was initiated. You can see from this slide, I hope the slides are moving. Now the slide is showing about Divyashri. I have the slide. How much water do we have? Is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
How much water do we have?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, yes. So now you can see through this figure that fresh water is very less. Just in the surface of the earth, just 3% is fresh water, out of which nearly 69% is all covered by the ice caps and glaciers. So then you can make out how important this fresh water resource is to us. If we lose this freshwater resource, then even the very existence of our mankind is at stake. Well, let's come to India. So you know that all our rivers, major North Indian rivers, are fed by the glaciers of the Himalayas. You can look at this figure. Himalayas are also called as the water towers of Asia. It not only feeds the Indian rivers, but also in the next slide you can see how spread out Himalayas is, and it is feeding to how many other country rivers. Look at this. Just trying to. It feeds. Indus River goes to Pakistan here. Ganga, Brahmaputra River is there, and Yangtze River, Yellow River, China, Irrawaddy, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Mekong, further into Southeast Asia. So Himalayas, you can see the extension of these rivers, which are all fed by the glaciers. India alone, this is a statistics I got from elsewhere, but I read in another literature that about 9,000 glaciers are there in the Indian Himalayas. We have the second longest glacier in non-polar regions. Polar is Arctic and the Antarctic. In a non-polar, this also, the Himalayas are also called as the third pole. So you have the Siachen Glacier, which you have been reading in the newspapers, how the army is, is guarding our borders in this very, very inhospitable climate. This is the biggest, longest glacier, length of 76 kilometers. And you would have also heard of Char Dham, Gangotri, Yamunotri, and Kedarnath, Badrinath, and so on. So these are all the dhams whose origin is at the glaciers. Gangotri Glacier, the source of the Ganga River. Yamunotri is Yamuna, and Gomukh is further up to the Gangotri. So you can, it looks like the go or the cow's mouth. Okay. And another big congregation of glacier is in Greenland and in Antarctica. So they are almost covering 70% of the world's glaciers. And Antarctica, you can see this is the map, and you have one more largest or longest glacier as well, called as the Lambert Glacier, which is close to, which feeds the Ameri ice shelf. So India has a research station, 2 research stations in Antarctica. One is the Bharati station, which is somewhere around here, and another Maitri station somewhere in the northern Antarctica. So I was in my expedition, I was in the Bharati station. So this is the picture, the satellite picture of the longest glacier running to 400 kilometers, Lambert Glacier. Where else do we have the glaciers across the world? Greenland is here, Antarctica is here, Himalayas is here, 3 poles are around. Then you have on the Western Americas, North America and Southern America, West Coast, and in parts of Svalbard and parts of Canada and Russia and so on, China. This must be because we from South India, most of us would not have seen a glacier unless we have gone on any tour to the North India, Himalaya specifically, or the youngsters would have gone for trekking. But otherwise, glaciers are not, we are not much people know. That's why I thought, let me give some primer to mostly our students. How are these glaciers formed? So this particular picture shows all this story. You can see that first, the snowfall is there. Second, the snow falls onto the ground, and then the continued snowfall leads to compression and compaction. After that, it strengthens up into a glacial ice here, and then it's called as a firn, and then it becomes more denser, and then there is a gradual erosion, melting, retreat, and so on. The whole of this 4 pictures shows how the snow accumulates, compresses, and how the glacial ice are formed and how it moves. So it takes millions of years to form these things, as you can see here. Yeah. So this is another picture. You can have a look here. It has the snow precipitates, and there is 2-3 different zones here. There's an accumulation zone, and there is an equilibrium line, and the ablation zone. You can see here that in the higher reaches of the mountains, you have the snow accumulating, and the snow and ferns are forming, and then there is an equilibrium line. This is the line which is where you normally is both. It's not either accumulating nor ablating. There's the equilibrium line. It's the balanced position, and normally the glacier will not go beyond that. So the whatever the retreat, normally glacier maintains a balance. So this is the zone where ablation zone, where you can see the melting and so on. So why are glaciers important? Why the United Nations has made glacier preservation as most important? So very beginning I told that it's a storehouse of rivers, or kind of a water towers of the world, in fact. So glaciers feed the world of it. So the water security is with the glaciers, and if the glaciers are no more there, then there will be no water and no mankind. So this is very important. So water storage and supply, and hydroelectric power. Hydroelectric power, what do I mean actually? So you would have seen that there's so much hydroelectric power stations along the Himalayan rivers. So why this is a kind of year round they produce. So it's a green energy, in fact, as you all know. So there is a continuous supply. Glaciers maintains a stability. In the winter, they are all very stable, stiff, and leaves limited amount of water into the downstream below. In the summer, it little bit melts and supplies the water. So year round you have the water. So you have year round hydroelectricity all across the Himalayan chains, for example. And also, why North India, especially the Ganga plains, are not having any shortage of water? Because of the same reason. Agriculture, irrigation is all prospering in the Ganga Brahmaputra plains thanks to the glacier melts during the summer. And as you all know, tourism and recreation is also, in fact, sustainable tourism. It should be sustainable tourism, where you have the skiing and other visit it can be pilgrimage visit to the Char Dham, or it can be an adventure activity, or it can be just as a trekking or just as a tourist. So you can all enjoy the Himalayas, but with sustainable. So these are all the things where the glaciers are very important. Well, people like us are doing scientific research also and trying to understand why glaciers are melting fast, or what is the history of the glacial melts, so on and so forth. As I was telling in the beginning of the talk, we are going to the Arctic, a place called Svalbard, beyond Iceland. So there we try to find out the amount of particles that are all falling on the glaciers from the atmosphere and how it is accelerating the melting of it. So we are supposed to go there to the Arctic and collect the samples, glacial samples, the particles and so on, and map it, and then take decide on how quickly these glaciers melt and what is the impact and so on and so forth. So wildlife habitat, as you all know, so all the forests that are there in the downstream thrive because of the rivers, and rivers again come from the glaciers. So wildlife is also dependent on the glaciers, and glaciers act as a natural barriers and water regulators. So they, as I told in the beginning, in the winter time they slow down the movement, whereas in the summertime they let off the barriers and more water is there. Glaciers as climate regulators. What is that? Albedo effect. So as you all know, white glacier is white. White is a good surface which reflects the solar radiation. So more glaciers it is, more white the snow is, more the reflection, more the cooling of the earth. If glaciers are not there, more of heating, more of warming, and more of accelerated melting. So glaciers are a good climate regulators. And another interesting thing is glaciers are also contributing in the thermohaline in the ocean circulation. As you can see in this figure, all the oceans are connected. You have the Atlantic Ocean, you have the Pacific Ocean, you have the Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean. You can see all of them are connected. Most of you would have learned in your high school and classes how the ocean circulation is there, how the warm currents and cold currents are moving across from one ocean to one ocean, and how they are controlling the climate. You can see here in this point, heat released to air. This is the point where you can see the Arctic, the Greenland and Canadian meltwaters are all entering into the North Atlantic Ocean. So they, it's not especially in the global warming scenario, more water is entering in this region, which is affecting the circulation. Normally, the water should get denser here. All these warm ocean surface waters get warmer and warmer and warmer, saltier, and then they become heavier, and then they dive as deep water. But because of the melting, increased melting in the Arctic and so on, so you can see that more fresh water is being released. More fresh water, if it is released, it can interfere in the circulation of these currents. If this interference occurs, then it can change the climate very, very rapidly. Already now the warming is happening. Now what would happen is if the circulation stops or changes direction, then it can either some of the places can get increasingly warmer, or some of them can get increasingly colder, or some places which are warmer may get colder and vice versa. So all these things could happen if accelerated warming can happen. Anyway, I was telling about the importance of how glaciers benefit us. So you can see this picture, how they shape the landform also. Before glaciers form, how it was during glaciation, and after glaciers have melted, you can see what kind of a landform it is. So it creates mountains and valleys and kind of control. That in other words also helps in controlling the climate. Well, that is about the advantages that we found. Then what are the imminent threats to glaciers? Climate change, climate change, climate change. All these things. This is the buzzword now because of the increasing carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere. There's a warming, and then there's a melting of glaciers and so on. So this is one important thing. And pollution, soot and greenhouse gases accelerate the ice loss. Just now I mentioned about that. Deforestation also alters the precipitation patterns, and then snowfall may not be there. Unsustainable water use, over extraction from glacial fed rivers, and so on. This is for the students. Just when I talked about climate change, so you should also be aware that what is that atmospheric gas that is changing the climate. You can see in this figure pie chart. This is what we read in our earlier classes: 78% nitrogen and oxygen 21%. The most important one, which many miss out in our earlier classes, is carbon dioxide, which is 0.04% or more. In the scientific parlance, we say it as 400 plus ppm, parts per million, and other gases like argon are 0.96%. So this is the atmospheric composition. Now let us see how this carbon dioxide, which we saw, right, 0.04%. 0.04% is nothing but 400 ppm. So now you can see here on the x-axis, you have the year from 1960 to today. This is what I got from the, this is called as the Keeling curve, which is generated at the Mauna Loa Atmospheric Observatory located in Hawaii Islands, a part of the United States. So on the y-axis, you have carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere. So you can see here that from 1960 onwards, you have a continuous increase because of the industrial revolution and so on, and further rapid development in economy. Today we have the concentrations have almost reached to more than 420 ppm of carbon dioxide. So this is not at all a good news for us. And well, this is the funda only. Let me little bit proceed further. What is greenhouse effect? All of this you would know, but still many people are confused about greenhouse effect and global warming. Since the students are there, let me quickly explain that. Greenhouse effect is not a problem. Please keep in mind greenhouse effect, because greenhouse effect is there. We are all there today. It is enhanced greenhouse effect is what is called as global warming. So you can see here that solar radiation is there, and our atmosphere is transparent, or it is permeable. It permits the solar radiation all the way to the Earth's surface, and it is reflected in the form of longer waves. These are shorter waves and longer waves. When the longer waves are reflected, the atmosphere blocks it. It doesn't allow it to go 100%. So that keeps the Earth warm. But now, gases like carbon dioxide is accumulating in the atmosphere more and more. They are all the greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, and so on. So they keep absorbing the heat. They will not allow the heat to further dissipate, and more carbon dioxide, more and more heating. Just like how in a car, you just close all your windows and park the car in a hot sun, and when you come back, you will see the experience, how hot it is. Why? Because car permits the solar radiation through its glass, but the heated, re-radiated heat will not go out of the car. The same concept is explained in simple terms. So then, well, good. Now, global warming is there, and glaciers are melting. So then what are the consequences? You can see rising sea levels, loss of habitats, wildlife, extreme weather events, impact of agriculture and food supply, changes in ocean currents and climate, and so on. So this is an important statement that is done by the US Geological Survey. If all land ice melted, sea level would rise approximately 70 meters worldwide. So that means all our west coast of India and east coast of India will be underwater. So this is what is the prediction if entire Antarctica is melted. All the ice caps and glaciers are gone. So this is just some sea level projections in whatever, let's say 2 feet. If it rises, then India would lose so and so square kilometer land. 3 feet, it would completely inundate Mumbai, and so on. So right now the sea level rise is projected at about 3 to 3.5 millimeters per year. That is what is the rate. And 2100, if the same rate continues, then Bombay may be underwater. I just explained this to you already. And also now you would have read in newspapers, especially this one, last year, 23 in fact, glacial lake outburst flood kills 14 in Sikkim, 102 people missing. So what is GLOF, or glacial lake outburst flood? So this is what is happening these days because of the increased global warming. This picture kind of shows all the things. Normally what happens, glaciers form lakes at the higher reaches, and whatever the moraines or whatever the rock particles it would have got, it would all have been deposited here, and this rock particle will form a kind of a dam for it. In the summer, it will put the water and then a lake, and in the winter, it will shrink. Now, because of the increased global warming, more glaciers are melting, and it is breaching this dam. It is breaching this dam, and then suddenly flash floods across the downstream and sudden marooning of villages. That is what has happened last year. In fact, 2023 in Sikkim. These are going to increasingly happen. So there are multiple other problems. Let me not read these things, but at least I can say that altered river flows, vegetation change, and permafrost will thaw, and the glaciers will retreat, and so on. Okay, coming to the preservation. Okay, now you saw that the glacier, how important it is, and what are the threats it is facing. Now you and I, or the government, or the policy, how we can preserve the glacier. As we could see in the previous slides, carbon dioxide is the main culprit which is causing this global warming. Can we decrease this carbon dioxide? Can we reduce our carbon footprint? It's only possible thanks to the renewable energy that more and more increasing researches have been happening. Young minds like you have to think on how we can phase out this carbon. Normally, what is that carbon dioxide coming from where? Who is putting the carbon dioxide? Mostly it is the coal-fired thermal power plants. Thermal power plants are needed for our electricity. Most of about 60 to 80% of our electricity is from fossil fuel or coal or other petroleum-based products. We are generating electricity because it is cheap. Now we need to decrease this particular coal business and bring more renewable energy. It can be solar energy, it can be wind energy, it can be, recently our Prime Minister is talking about National Green Hydrogen Mission, and also is talking about Har Ghar solar rooftops and so on. So India is now increasingly shifting towards renewable energy. Of course, nuclear energy is another area which India is hugely investing. So this is where what we need at the governmental level, it has to happen. And of course, the trees are the ones which take they are the ones which take the sequester the carbon dioxide and give us oxygen. So more and more afforestation should happen. There's one picture, interesting picture. This is Switzerland. They are covering the glaciers to probably this could be a skiing area. I think they're covering such that glaciers are not melted. So such kind of things are also happening. And thanks to Institution of Engineers and Dayananda Sagar College, they're promoting awareness. So this is what is needed now. You are all the future of the country, my dear students. You should appreciate this point. That's the one reason why the institutions are doing such kind of talks, such that if you are motivated, then the world is in the safe hand. So in India, as I was just mentioning, what is being done in India? Green hydrogen, solar mission, government-funded research on monitoring the health of Himalayan glaciers. So government is funding universities and industries. How Himalayan glaciers can be protected. Community-centric sustainable tourism. In Spiti, for example, in Himachal Pradesh, they the locals are kind of serving as tourist guides, and they show the tourists that they ecological importance, etc. They will be explaining, and they will make the tourists appreciate and see in the process they are earning the money as well as tourists appreciate. This is all plastic free and so on and so forth. So it's a kind of involvement of the community, local community, and the tourists. So sustainable tourism is one thing which is already taking place in India. There are many clean towns in the Himalayas, plastic-free towns. So if you go to the Himalayas, you will see that Himalayan reforestation projects, awareness drives, collaboration between country heads like the prime ministers, and collaboration between people like us, researchers, policymakers, NGOs, and so on. So, okay, then that is all about the higher level. What you and I can do, at least to prevent this climate change or to preserve the glaciers. Simple thing, just switch off the lights when you don't need it, switch off the fan, you don't need it, save energy at home, please. And wherever possible, please walk. If it's just 1 kilometer, try walking and or take public transport. Avoid using vehicles. So that much amount of fossil fuel is these days. There's vegetarianism is propagated because more water is used for the meat and so on. So yeah, and consider your travel. If needed, travel. Throw away less food. Reduce, reuse, repair. Repair is another term people are using. Instead of buying another e-waste, another electronic gadget, if you can repair wherever possible. Well, it's not wherever practical, I'm telling you. Not that it's change your home source of energy. These days, all the solar panels are coming. Well, in Karnataka, we have the subsidy given by the Karnataka government, but in other states, increasingly there is a rooftop solar electricity generation is happening. Switch to an EV. EVs are getting cheaper now, maybe 4 or 5 years down the line, and make your money count. Spend whatever is needed. Don't be excessive spending. Speak up if you find something is going wrong in the environment. Write to the editor, write to the DC, write to the lawmaker, decision MLAs. So speak up. Let's not keep quiet. So that then only our environment can be protected. Finally, glaciers can be protected. So, madam, how many time is left, or can I show one video of my Antarctica thing, small one?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Then I'll just try to share it again. This is what whether the screen is shared, madam?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
I had been to Antarctica a few years back, and we were trying to sample the sea ice. In fact, I am here standing. I am kind of kneeling down on a frozen sea. So now my job is to collect the water sample and look for the pollutants there. So I'm just trying to, let's see if the video plays.
Yes, sir. This is that hole. Try to keep the arms as much stretchable as you can, and try to keep the body as apart from that hole. Because here the ice condition is very rough, actually.
Yeah, that was one more. Another, yeah. Fine. So these are all the, like just the techniques how to reduce global warming. Because in the interest of time, I will, these days there is something called carbon sequestration option. See, okay, now let's say we can't do anything. So you and I, we are not responsible, and we could not reduce the carbon tax, let's say. Then there is a plan B is there. So all these industries, you just, go to these industries, and then, whatever that thermal power plant, carbon dioxide is there, capture it and put it beneath the Earth's surface in some, wherever, it can be done, wherever hollow surface is there in some deep saline formations and so on. Or also you can convert this carbon dioxide into oxides. These are all the plan B that are all being thought about. So that's it. So act now, ladies and gentlemen, to stop global warming. I thank the Institution of Engineers, Karnataka, and all that Institution of Public Health Engineers, Indian Water Works Association, who have organized this one, and the leadership, principal, and the head of the Department of Civil Engineering, Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering, Professor Manjunath, my guru and my mentor, who invited me to the talk, and MIT, Manipal, my institute, and my colleagues, students, Prasanna and Sagar helped me in this presentation. So thank you so much, everybody. And if any questions are there, I would be ready to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Balakrishna, sir, for such an enlightening section on the crucial need for glacier preservation, and also importance of the glacier preservation, greenhouse effect, global warming, and also glacier preservation strategies. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful section. Next, I am honored to introduce Dr. B.R. Manjunath, sir, from DSCE, Bengaluru. Dr. B.R. Manjunath, sir, is currently working as a professor of geology in the Department of Civil Engineering at DSCE. He had PDF experience at Bedford Institute of Oceanography, Canada. Sir has got C.V. Raman Award by Government of Karnataka in the year 2001. And also he got Best Teacher Award in Science and Technologies in Mangalore University, and also the member of International Climate and Oceans. Sir has published about 70 research papers in the international journals and books. Over to you, sir.
Hello. Hello, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes, sir. Audible. Please little loud.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Please.
Esteemed members of the Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering, Bengaluru.
Sir, little loud.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible, sir? Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Respected members, academic staff of Dayananda Sagar College, and also Department of Civil Engineering, Dayananda Sagar College, and also esteemed faculty members, research fellows, staff, students, and also Indian Engineers Association. I am very happy to speak about the World Meteorological Day 2025 on the theme Closing the Early Warning Gap Together. Closing the early warning means there will be a gap, that means time lag before the rescue operation takes place. In most of the meteorological hazards, the rescue will be taken during the hazard or after the hazard, except in case of cyclones. Now, cyclone warning is very much efficient. It was started about 3 decades back because of the best communication system, satellite communication system. But the meteorological warning needs a lot of data, and also the programs, because data in terms of petabytes or even beyond, and also we want the live server to process the data. So there are some difficulties, but the best efforts are put to improve the warning system. In the event of warning, the weather, especially the Indian Meteorological Department was started in the later half of the 19th century, when there was a severe drought in 1874, 1875, 1876. Because of that, the severe drought, the Indian Meteorological Department was established, exactly double the age of the Meteorological Day. The Meteorological Department, World Meteorological Department was established in 1876. After that, there has been a considerable reduction in the famine. Famine refers to the starvation. Because of starvation, several people die, innocent people. After independence, because of the improved weather forecasting system and also the preventive measures taken to avoid drought, the famine
has been reduced. Especially in 1960, there was a decade, 60th decade, there were several droughts, and during that time there was severe agricultural drought, and during that time Swaminathan sir and introduced the Green Revolution. Because of his foresights, there has been considerable improvement in the famine, although we have droughts in the years. After the 60s, there were severe droughts even in 70s and also 80s. The worst drought happened during 1999 to 2001, continuous 3 years of drought. India also suffered to the greatest extent, and also the Central Asian region. So what are the reasons behind the droughts, or even suppose sometimes the floods? For example, the worst flood happened in 2013, 2019, and 2021, etc. The droughts and floods, they are mirror images in the climate system. We need water, but excess of flood, it is causing damage to the human society. So I would like to explain the meteorological process and the reasons for drought and the current scenarios, and what are the mitigation taken to avoid such kind of drought. So this year the slogan is first slide. Closing the early warning gap together. That means through a lot of data collected, and also dynamic predictive modeling. Based on that, we can prevent, at least send early warning signals to the different regions, so that the damage can be saved, the life and property can be saved. So since 1950, each year World Meteorological Day is organized throughout the world on March 23rd, which is after the World Water Day. Just now Professor Balakrishna spoke about it. The Meteorological and Water Day, they are intimately connected, the water cycle. So meteorological means the atmospheric process, and water mainly the surface and on surface of soil, on earth and glaciers. So atmosphere about 500 kilometers thickness, and actually it gradually reduces to space. There's nothing in the space, which is assumed to be around 3,000 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Although the atmosphere appears uniform and transparent, but there are different layers. It is just like in the multi-storied building, there are different floors. The lowermost floor is the troposphere. Even in troposphere, there are subfloors of air masses. The troposphere is the most important. So this region is the most important. The mass of the about 99% of the atmospheric mass is the troposphere, which is the weather layer, and there is a distinction between troposphere and stratosphere. So there is a severe, intense research going on to understand the climate change between the troposphere and stratosphere interactions. This is about the energy transfer from sun to earth. Sun is about 150 million kilometers away from the Earth, and the Earth is about 1.3 million times smaller than the Sun. But how the energy is transferred? Energy is transferred through radiation. That means radiation means the transfer of energy without any medium. Even in vacuum, that energy can be transferred. So this energy is most important for the Earth, which drives the climate system. But there are two sources of energy on Earth. One is the source directly derived from the Earth. We call it as geothermal energy. That energy is actually driving the, the volcanoes or the plate tectonics, and also to some extent it drives the weather system by in terms of heat supply. So in meteorology means the science of weather. In this, the temperature is the most important. Just now, Professor Balakrishna told about the temperature, global warming, and all. The meteorology, the temperature is the basic triggering factor which affects the atmosphere and all, and then atmospheric pressure, then to wind, then temperature also rises, humidity from the oceans and forming the moisture and the clouds, and then precipitation, then hydrological cycle. So in the meteorology, there is a separate subdiscipline called warning about weather. For example, a heavy snowstorm or dust storm or precipitation or cloud burst or heat wave or cyclones or hurricanes or typhoons in different countries, a drought or famine. So what are the main reasons for the weather change? The weather change is because of one thing is the natural, the change in the balance between radiation balance, that heat supply, radiation source of sun to earth, and also the anthropogenic. The anthropogenic means human-induced forces, for example, because of excess of greenhouse gases emission, for example, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, laughing gas, which is the most strongest greenhouse gas, about 200 times higher heat carrying capacity than carbon dioxide. And another one is the methane. It is about 40 times higher than the heat carrying capacity of the carbon dioxide. And also another one is the tropospheric ozone. Also, although ozone, the stratospheric ozone, it filters out the unwanted UV from the space to Earth, but it is a greenhouse gas in the troposphere. So because of excess of the fossil fuel burning, especially the petroleum and coal, because of the increase in tropospheric the ozone, and also heat-trapped gases, for example, buildings and all, they in turn induce long wave radiation. That means the outgoing radiation. The radiation, what we call it as the balance. Balance means the incoming radiation from the sun during the daytime should be balanced with the outgoing radiation during the night. But what happens during the night time? The long wave radiation, it is invisible, just like infrared radiation. It is infrared radiation only. It is blocked by or absorbed by the greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. Although these gases are negligible, less than 0.04 or less than 0.05%, but they are strong enough to induce heating effect, additional supply of heating effect on Earth's surface. So the white returning arrows are the additional source of heat on Earth's surface. This additional heat, actually, we call it as the global warming, what Professor Balakrishna just now explained. And because of that, the Earth atmosphere is heated. You can see in this figure. The left figure is in the natural system, but in the right side, there is heating of gases. So the heating of gas induces additional source of energy in the form of radiation, radiative. In cold countries, to maintain heat, they use radiators in the bus and also in the vehicle and also in the building. Probably in North India, in cold regions, even radiators are also used to keep the warm in the house or in the rooms. So excessive radiation causes increase in the net radiation. So about 3 to 4 watts per meter square increase in the atmospheric heating. So this creates additional source of energy to the climate system. So it aggravates the system. So in this figure, you can see the increase of the temperature over 1850s to 2024. So the temperature increase is remarkable in 2000, in the 21st century. It is about 2 to 3 times higher than the normal what expected during 1850 to 1960. However, the increase in temperature throughout the world is not uniform. At certain regions, there will be excess of heating, especially in the northern hemisphere. You can see so much of heat wave when compared to the tropical regions like India. So because of this is in some countries, for example, in Iran, the temperature increase is intolerable. As per reports, the direct measurement through remote sensing, the temperature increases up to 80 degrees centigrade Celsius. This is highly impossible for human or any living being to live in such kind of environment, barring the extremophiles, some algae, fungi, they can sustain. But there is this extreme heating, it will be a severe impact on the glaciers, the polar ice caps. It is just like these polar ice caps, these are just like the refrigerators, just like deep freezer in the refrigerator.
Slides properly. It just shows slides properly.
Pardon, sir? Okay.
Just use
So
slides
these polar zones, they are very sensitive. Especially the northern hemisphere is very much affected. The increase in temperature in the Arctic, north 60 degree latitude, that region is almost double or triple the time of the global warming of the low latitudes. The increase in temperature in the polar region ranges from 3 to 7 degrees Celsius per decade. So this is extremely high. Because of extreme increase in temperature, the ice caps, polar ice caps, especially the sea ice is melting. Because of the sea ice melting, there is increase in the circulation system, and it is increasing the volume of the North Atlantic ocean water, which is affecting the global ocean water circulation. So this imbalance affecting the climate, the monsoon also affecting, and also the mid-latitudes, the deserts, there will be severe heat wave and also rainstorms. Recently, there has been increase in the rains in the Middle East and also desert rains, desert floods in the Sahara region. So because of the imbalance in the heat, So in this figure, you can see the regions where all the imbalance of heat noticed. It is surprising to note that the oceans are heated. If the oceans are heated by 2 to 3 degrees centigrade, it can trigger a cyclone. So the early warning system we get from the ocean, the signals from the ocean that the oceans are becoming warming. So 1 to 2 degrees increase in temperature can trigger massive cyclone or hurricane or typhoons in the East Pacific, West Pacific regions. And there is one thing called not only the global warming, the oceans are warming, the heat wave from the ocean. So this is really surprising. Although oceans are cool, I mean the water means cool, the heat waves that we are getting from the ocean. So because of this excess of heat wave, excess of ocean temperature, there is excess of moisture availability in the atmosphere. This creates a lot of imbalance in the water balance, imbalance in the meteorological system, and there will be what is called as the torrential rains, or sometimes there will be severe drought. It is just like the flash events, flash floods or flash droughts. For example, what has happened in the New York last year, or Atlantic hurricane in the Florida region, where the wind velocity nearing to 200 kilometers per hour was extremely high, ever recorded, I think, in the Atlantic hurricane in Florida. Much of the city of Florida region was devastated because of these Atlantic hurricanes. Similarly, there were severe drought events in the Indian region. Even this year in 2025, even during the end of winter, there were heat waves. It is very surprising to note that heat wave in the Jharkhand, Odisha region, and similarly Maharashtra, Goa, and also there was warning in the Bengaluru region. So this imbalance of heat can lead to a sudden torrential rain. For example, the rain that happened in Bengaluru in the last year. Similarly, it is also causing severe floods in the Himalayan regions, or for example in the Kashmir region, or in the Rajasthan region, or in the western part of Rajasthan, Gujarat region. Those are dry regions, and since 10-20 years, those regions are getting heavy rains because of the imbalance in the meteorological system. So every year, if you take the meteorological data, every year the severity in the rain is increasing. The amount of rainfall is increasing, no doubt, but that water we cannot able to preserve it. It is in terms of floods. I think we have to build up very large storage dams to store the flooded waters. It has been challenging task since 2-3 decades, and this flooding is going to be, it tends to be increasing in future. Even I think when compared to last few years, the last year we received extremely heavy rain events. So that intensity of such events will repeat in the future. And also drought immediately after that, the drought events. So the flash floods and droughts it will be quite common because of the temperature. So how best to control the temperature? There are, Balakrishna told some aspects. There are efforts made to increase the ocean productivity. So, during photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is consumed during photosynthesis. Similarly, if we grow more plants, we can reduce, but that is highly impossible on land. But in ocean, we can increase the ocean productivity. There are some places in the ocean, we call it as high nutrient, low chlorophyll regions, such as the southern oceans, eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean, and also some parts of the northern part of Pacific Ocean. So in these regions, these are the iron deficient regions. Iron is most important in nutrient and also catalyst, which can control the biochemical reaction in the cell. It is also so because of increase, there will be increase in the ocean. There are experiments conducted, but even after the conducting experiments, carbon dioxide is removed, but it will circulate within the surface water and the ocean. So what we want is a deeper sink of carbon to the ocean. If that is done, then it will be excellent. And also and in some organizations, so for example, Royal Society of London, there was a proposal to trigger artificial volcano. So suppose if you trigger artificial volcano, what happens? A lot of sulfate is generated, and also the sulfate will reduce incoming solar radiation. So because of that, there will be a drastic reduction in the rainfall. So if you take the history of volcanoes, whenever volcanoes triggers, there will be subsequent to drought years. It will be there for 2 to 3 years because of the shadowing effect of the aerosols created by volcanoes and also by the sulfate. So there will be a drastic reduction in the evaporation of water that leads to the deficiency of water for the rain. So what are the effects made to regulate the warning system? Now everywhere the artificial intelligence come into picture. Now more than that artificial intelligence, there is one more term recently I read, integrated artificial intelligence. Integrated artificial intelligence means combining all together the information available to fit to the computer, supercomputers to get the information and how best we can mitigate the system or sending warning signals. So it is very quite obvious in many countries, even in India, the flooding is very common even before monsoon or even after the monsoon. For example, what has happened in Chennai recently or a few years back, about 10-15 years back, or Cochin water has happened in Kerala region or in Bengaluru or in Mumbai. So all these are causing a lot of damage. Suppose if we can mitigate this system, the mitigation is very highly difficult. And mitigating means there should be a technique to disperse the clouds. Even it was done in China in the Beijing Olympics in 2005 or so. They have diverted the cloud to avoid rainfall in the inaugural ceremony of Beijing Olympics, I think 2000, early part of the 21st decade. So such a mitigation is a challenging task for meteorologists. there is one term called weather modifications and mitigations.
Light not moving.
Still, it is a challenging task.
Light is not moving.
Best can be done is to send signals or information to the public.
Light is not moving.
Sensors developed in the flooding regions, because when the water develops, the sensor will indicate to the warning, a mitigation to be taken up. So in some places, they have there has been installation of pumps to divert the flooded water. It is just like the fire engine, how they
Light is not moving.
To they put out the fire. So here we have to divert the water. So gradually the system, the mitigation system is coming.
Sir, slides are not moving.
Yeah, it is almost.
I have repeated many times. No action.
Conclusion of the.
Okay. So wherever the regions expected to be flooded, so there are sensors. There are plans to establish sensors, and if the flooding takes place, there will be automatic pumps to divert the system. Like that, we can avoid the flooding and save life and property, and also the precious water, because these are actually the flash events, either floods. Once it is flooded, and it will not rain for another 3-4 weeks. So the monsoon season means only we have 4 months. Whatever we get rain in those time, we have to save water. There is another phenomenon happening in the Indian Ocean, in the Western Indian Ocean. We call it as the Indian Ocean Dipole. So because of Indian Ocean Dipole, in the warm events, we get excess of rain even after the September, October, November. Up to November, December, we can get rains. The same thing what has happened during 2019, 2021. Although there was a drought here, because Bengaluru region, even in Karnataka, Kerala region, we got excess of rain because of the Indian Ocean Dipole. So what I want to say that in Indian region, we are very fortunate to get excess of rain, and the management is most important. How to manage and mitigate, and especially we have to develop some large reservoirs to store the flood waters. Once the water is stored like that, we can use that water for many years. For example, the Narmada, although there was opposition from the environmentalist Narmada Bachao Andolan, but because of that dam constructed across Narmada River, 3-4 states are getting water from this source. So like that, we have to establish the large storing capacity to save the diverted water, and that ultimately going to the sea. So I urge engineers to plan for large capacity dams, or even the small dams, or the smaller watersheds to infiltrate or to store that water for future days, especially because the summer it will be very severe. Whatever, for example, cities like Bengaluru requires about 100 liters of water per capita. So on average, we may get about less than 40-50 liters per day. So it is very starving situation during summer, and situations have to be improved, and to take mitigative measures. So I thank the Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering authorities, management, and also head of the Department of Civil Engineering, Dr. Professor Ramaraju, to provide me an opportunity to share some of my thoughts for engineers and engineering graduates and also others who can take care of the dams and also water resources. I thank you one and all for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manjunath sir, for enlightening the section on meteorology and reason for the weather change and the importance of accurate measurements in disaster preparedness and mitigation. As we conclude this insightful section,
Any questions?
as we conclude this insightful section, now I invite Dr. Jairam B. IISC back to deliver the vote of thanks.
Can I ask one or two questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir. Please.
One is CO2 capturing. If you do and convert them to carbonate, etc., and CH4, if you capture and convert that into green energy convert to hydrogen, is it going to reduce a lot in the CO2 and CH4 impurity in the atmosphere?
This is one idea, sir. We don't know really whether it is enough because is there any enough space beneath the earth, especially this petrol, where whatever the crude oil that is being extracted, there is empty space is there. That is being offshore. It can be filled, and this one sequestration through converting it as oxides. These are on in lab scale. It is done, but I am not aware of whether it can be good enough to be a plan B.
At the beginning stage, we can do it in the, for example, thermal power station where it can produce a lot of carbon dioxide. Can capture in the chimney and see how it can be converted and captures and maybe one of the example to start. In atmosphere, it may be in ppm level.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Second question is
research projects are being funded for this CO2 sequestration through various such methods. So I think R&D is going on.
Okay. Another question is maybe it is easy to trap this carbon dioxide in a nanomaterial. So pass through the nanomaterial, trap all this carbon dioxide into the nano where the high surface ratio is there.
I think so, sir, because it's a very fine grain, fine size. So with a larger surface area, maybe it's...
you can preserve that. On heating, it can come out. Otherwise, it will be there only.
It will be there.
I don't know.
I'm also not an expert on that, sir. I'm not an expert.
Okay, thank you.
But the point is well noted.
Anyway, thank you very much for an excellent talk, particularly by Balakrishna, where I was not aware of this South and North Pole area. Thanks. And I could able to see some video and everything. And glacier preservation is very important, otherwise sea level increase. And also Manjunath given a very good talk on this climate change and various at the various height of the above the Earth atmosphere. And also we know that in the space vehicles may produce a lot of carbon dioxide and other things in the upper atmosphere. That also should be taken care, I think. Thanks to both of you for an excellent talk. And it is my privilege to listen to you people. And also I thank Ashwini for her invocation and Ramaraju for the importance day about these two. He explained first how important is this, and he is arranged in his college and it is fantastic. Many students, youngsters will know about it. And also the chairman of the Institute of Engineers, M. Nagaraj, who given the introduction, welcome address. And also I'm thankful to the president and the principal of Prasad of the DSCE, and also thankful to Lakshman and the coordinator Vidyasri Shita, It's an excellent talk. And once again, I will thank everybody. Thank you very much.
DSCE thank the Dr. Jairam sir, Dr. Balkrishna sir, Dr. Manjunath sir, and our chairman of IPHG, Shri Malik sir, and all our the Institute of Indian Water Works Association chairman, Shri Srinivas Reddy, and then Institute of Engineers, the chairman, Shri Nagaraj, and our secretary of the Institute of Engineers, Shri Lakshman. I thank all the participants from IVA, IPHE, and Institute of Engineers, and our students, our beloved students, and all the
participants.
The coordinator, first of all, she is the one who have taken the initiative to make this program successful. Madam, over to you, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much who are all present here today. And also, I would like thank you to dear students. The certification link will send in the chat. All of you fill that fill that link and get the certificate. Thank you so much who are all present here today. Thank you so much.
We are closing the session.
Dear students, fill that link and get the certificate.
Thank you, Dr. Ramaraju. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks to all.
Thank you, sir.